Good afternoon, friends of College of Eastern Idaho. Thanks for spending a few minutes with us. I'm Rick Amon. I'm the president of the college, and we have a very interesting venture that we would like to present to you. And we at the college have been futuring with our trustees and with our staff here, thinking about our area in Eastern Idaho. And what I'd like to do is introduce Anne Marie Peters. Anne Marie is our director of strategic partnership and has been deeply involved in this wonderful project. So, Anne Marie, we have worked together from day one on this, and we're making a lot of progress. So, what we'd like to do with our guests today is do a fly through. So, let me turn it over to you, and let's talk a little bit about this building and what it's going to become.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Rick. And thanks for giving me this opportunity to share this amazing fly-through video with our friends out in the community. So this is the opportunity for people to essentially walk through the building and to be able to take a look at what it's going to be like when it's actually done. So we're very excited to share it because it really gives you a feel for the sophistication of this building. This is going to be our building that will be for energy, environment, and technology for technician training. That will be for formal certificates and Associate of Applied Science, but also for workforce training. So we expect to have between those two separate programs about 1,000 students coming through this building every year. So let's take a look. We are coming down here by Building 5. This is going to be just north of Building 5. And coming around the front of the building, this is the part that will be facing out onto the green area of campus. And over here, I'm going to pause for a moment and show this area here on the west end of the building is where we're going to have our field testing labs. Now, the field testing labs will be associated with machine tool, advanced manufacturing, and engineering tech, but will also be able to be used by other programs as they evolve. And the idea is we want to be able to bring equipment in these big doors, and then there'll be big garage doors like that between the testing labs so that they can collaborate and learn together about various industry partners' equipment and function. The back of the building here will have a work yard. We expect to have a solar array there that will have a solar tech program. And here you can see a beautiful terrace that's going to be on the second floor. When we get inside the building, you'll see it's connected here to this conference center. As most people know, our college campus does not really have a very big meeting space, certainly not one that can accommodate in-service or large student gatherings. This conference center that we're building will accommodate that. But very importantly, as the community college, we are always thinking about how we can serve our community. And we know that conference space is also at a premium for our community as well. So we're excited that we'll have this to offer. We'll have a very small amount of faculty offices here as you first walk in the doors. And the idea is that this will be a very student-centered building, not faculty-centered. So very few faculty offices. You can see that on the classrooms and the build labs and the server rooms and even our secure operating center, we'll have glass so that when people walk through the building, they can see these exciting things that are going on and get excited about these programs themselves. The classrooms, you see these walls, the classrooms will have more wall so that the students are not distracted and for safety purposes as well. So we're coming back toward the front of the building. That's Hit Road out here. And we're going up these stairs to the second floor. And you're going to get a peek here at the rendering of our mountains and that terrace that we talked about, which will, of course, be open to students all the time. This is the conference center. As you can see, a much bigger space than anything we currently have on campus, and really excited to make this available to our community. This space can be split into 3 separate rooms, And also, with the portable stage in there, can seat about 320 people. As we go through the rest of the building, you'll see that there are other places where there are monitors, particularly over the large main stairway. And that's going to be really exciting for our students when we have conferences in the building where they can participate right out there in the hallway between classes. So now we're on the second floor and we're walking by some classrooms here. Actually, those are some individual conference rooms. And then here we approach our learning bridges. So these bridges are split with a wall. So there's a small meeting space on this side and a small meeting space on the other side. And there's another one just like this down here on this bridge across the second floor. In between the two is an actual walkthrough that will allow people to have a pass through to get from one side of the building to the other. But the great thing about these learning spaces is that they'll be able to be reserved on the fly by students and faculty through a wireless system as people need that space to meet. So now we're walking across, obviously there won't be furniture with it being an actual walk-through space when the building is done. Coming down here by some classrooms, you can see there's a lot of renderings of different types of furniture. The idea is that we want to have a number of different ways that students and faculty and guests can meet, and ways that they can work on their own if they have homework or email or whatever they need to do between class, before class. Now this stairway, we're going to come around the back of it and you're going to get another view of it. But I wanted to pause here and mention that when we first got this design from the architects, we were actually feeling like this was frankly a waste of space. But as we did more research with other institutions and went to see other university and college technical buildings and other buildings, we realized that this is very widely used by students. We were in Montana, we were in Utah, and even right up the road at our new junior high in Ammon, there is a stairway like this, very popular with students and very user-friendly. So not only can they gather there when there's not any presentation going on, but we will also have this monitor and the ability for there to be either projections from the conference center or other displays going on there. Now we're coming around the side here of this recessed area. That's another type of seating area. Of course, everything is ADA accessible. We want all of our students to be able to participate. But I think what I really like about this space is that we can imagine that you could have displays of CEI student accomplishments here, projects. But also it would be a great place to host a K-12 robotics competition or science fair or any number of things. We're very excited to get K-12 students and the community in this building so that they can see these exciting classes that lead to exciting jobs right here in their own backyard. So we're looking forward to that day when we get to host that first group of K-12 students. We think they'll be pretty amazed. This area here is actually going to have a cafe in it where people can get sandwiches and other drinks, etc. We borrowed from the waterfront here. You see this open door that we can utilize when the weather's nice out onto this patio. And I would say this patio, it's important to note that we've made sure that there's enough electrical voltage there that we can have concerts or other productions for the campus, but very importantly, again, for the community. So this nice green lawn here that leads back into the rest of our campus, you can imagine lawn chairs there and the opportunity for people to enjoy some sort of production right there on our west side of the building.
So Anne Marie, as always, this is a wonderful fly through, and I always enjoy this. We've seen this multiple times, and our architects have done a great job. I think a couple things I'll reiterate with you is this is a technology building with a lot of flexibility. So we don't know the jobs of the future, and as we've gone through this, there is a lot of opportunity to merge with future new projects, new training, teaching, and learning that we can't even imagine right now. And the other thing you pointed out, but I do want to reiterate with the friends of the college that this is aimed at student teaching and learning and collaboration. There are no administrative offices in this, and the only offices, as you indicated, would be students. And again, we want to use as much of this as we can for our students and for the community. And the last thing I'll mention before we kind of end this is there are 8 colleges and universities in Idaho. We have yet to have this type of a building. There are 7 other similar buildings, but this would be the first building for us. We desperately need it, given Eastern Idaho, the emphasis on nuclear, the emphasis on cyber, the emphasis on energy. All of those things are going to be housed here. So, Anne Marie, we have started on our path to funding this, and we've had a number of wonderful gifts to include the legislature and our trustees. Maybe elaborate a little bit on how people could help us if they have a vision for this building.
Sure. Thank you, Rick. So I've been so pleased, or we've been so pleased with the reaction from everyone, from the community to our legislators to our own trustees on the importance of this building. So I feel like, this was an idea about 3 years ago, and we've come so far already, and we're ready to proceed and get construction started in the spring of 22. The barrier to that will be making sure that we have the construction funding secured to make that happen. We are very, very fortunate that we've had the support of our legislators and the state of Idaho with $10 million toward construction. $2 million that's been set aside by our board of trustees, which is no small amount for a new college that doesn't have a lot of extra funds. We were just very fortunate to be notified that we will be granted a gift from the J.R. Simplot Foundation. We've had $150,000 in individual pledges toward the project. So quite a lot of money that's been put toward this already. So about 13 million, a little more than 13 million toward just the construction, another 2.4 million that's gone into the design and planning. But we still do need about $30 million to complete this project. So, the more that we can spread the word and let people know about, the amazing things that are going to happen in this building, and most importantly, for students and for their families as a result, getting this training, getting excellent jobs, paying, $27, $30 an hour with benefits, just a game changer for a lot of people in Eastern Idaho. And I think that's why we're seeing all the support that we are, because the vision is clear that it's needed and it's going to make a huge difference for our employers' pipeline and for our students to have great jobs.
So, Anne Marie, I think that summarizes this wonderfully. So I think we've got an excellent vision. As a new college, 4 years old, we just had our 4th birthday. This is a wonderful vision, significantly needed in our area. And the real key here is family wage jobs. So I think anyone interested in gifting, giving, supporting could really reach out to either you or I. We would be happy to sit down with any group. Feel free to share this video with anyone that you think would be interested in this vision. And Anne Marie, is there anything you'd like to close with?
No, I just think it's a wonderful opportunity to give to a project that's going to just continue to give back to Eastern Idaho and the people of Eastern Idaho. And I think it also is an important project separate from the education that's going to go on there, just the statement that it makes to our students and to our community that they're important and that they're worth it, and that this type of education is exactly what they deserve, and will get them to the next step.
Well, let's do this, because this is a wonderful way to close. So Mayor Rebecca Casper joined us probably a month ago and got a fly through, and she was quite insightful with a story. So why don't we end with the story, if you'd be willing to tell that for us?
I sure would. It's a great story. Mayor Casper had the opportunity to go see one of our elementary schools that had been renovated and was just a beautiful school. And one of the sixth graders was touring her, and he was very proud, dressed in his best, touring the mayor. And at one point, paused and said to him, "Isn't this amazing?" Or said to her, I should say, "Isn't this amazing that they did this for us? That's how important we are." And what a beautiful story. It's important for people of our community to know how important they are, and this is our opportunity to show them.
I think that's exactly right. So we're dealing with these students in a gap, whether they're veterans, whether they're new high school graduates, those students who haven't graduated, those students, sometimes we're thought of as the first and last opportunity toward education. And this building does indicate how important that is to the region. So Anne Marie, thank you so much for the fly through. And I'd like to thank all of you who have joined us just to spend a few minutes and get a vision for what we know is going to be an important building for Eastern Idaho.
Thank you.